This is episode 192 of SLP, and you'll need to get yourself strapped in for a long one. You'll find out who the new face is down the local drive-thru, we'll talk lucky pants, a failed refereeing career, and all the usual news, stats and fan reviews. This is your favourite podcast. This is the Super League Pod. Hello everyone, welcome along to episode 192 of the Super League Pod. I'm Mark here, your regular host, and I'm joined again this week, wonderfully, by Tim G, the Coventry Bears ground announcer, but more famously this week probably Hull KR fan, given that you've won the first derby for a number of years over
what feels like about 10 years, but actually only 3. Yeah.
Actually only 3. How are you, Tim? How has your week been?
Yeah, it's been good. Busy one at work again. Sort of balancing two things at work, and then but a nice steady away weekend. Didn't do too much, but had a good time.
Good stuff.
What I did do, and got a few things sorted out, and then I've got a really busy one coming up this weekend. So I've got tickets to the cricket on Friday at Edgbaston, and then following that up, football down at Brentford on Saturday, and then Bears game on Sunday.
Wow, you're up and down.
And then straight from there, going straight to Leeds for work, and then actually going to Newcastle from Leeds on Monday. So it's going to be a busy few days.
That is going to be busy. So you're not going to have much chance to take in all the cup action coming up this weekend. That's one of the things we're going to get to.
I'm hoping my hotel will have suitable enough Wi-Fi that I can download it to be watching on the train Monday morning.
Good plan. I can't think if I did anything of interest this last week, but today my friend Sam, who is my best man, he had a baby. His wife did most of the hard work, I'm guessing. So congratulations.
He held hands and sent a few text messages, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, pretty much. So her hands, not mine. So congratulations to Sam and Kerry. They haven't, last update, no name yet. So we'll see what happens there.
No breastfeeding drama yet.
I've suggested Sam to them, so then they have a man Sam and a girl Sam in the family, in the house. I thought that would amuse me, so I think everyone should basically do any big life decisions. They should factor in how much it's going to amuse me in those choices. But
we had that with one of my friends that because he's another Brentford fan, and with the season that Rachel was pregnant, we were convincing him that he wanted to name the child after our top scorer that season, Clayton Donaldson. So it became Baby Clayton for quite a while. But it ended up they went with Harry, and it was Harry Samuel after Sam Saunders, another player, and then Bruce was the other middle name. So the full name was Harry Samuel Bruce Bruzon, just for comedy value.
So it sounded more. So when he's given his full name, it sounds like he's got a stutter.
Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start this week by announcing the winner of our prize draw. For anyone who didn't see the video that was put out over the weekend,
with a very glamorous assistant.
Very glamorous, very excited to play a part in the show. My assistant. On the video. So and then we're going to get a bit of listener feedback about the goings on in the last week. So we skipped the transfer news that was covered on an SLP short that I did with Dan Fowler at the weekend.
Yeah, listen to that one Saturday morning actually, as I was doing some jobs around the house. I did enjoy that little chat. Were you both?
Yeah, well we covered most stuff from deadline week. I think the Mason Caton Brown story wasn't officially confirmed anywhere that I could see. I basically trawled through all the club's official websites and Twitter feeds and that sort of stuff to get all the deals I could fit into the show, and that one wasn't on there anywhere. But this morning, interviews come out saying he's there, so that's a strange one. But other than that, we covered everything else, did me and Dan. So it was Dan Fowler, the Sheffield Eagles fan, who I did that with, so find that in the normal places if you haven't listened already. But we are gonna get some views in around that. Then we've got there's still loads of other news. This is why we'd had to do the SLP short on the transfer.
I was going to say, otherwise it would be our first 4-hour episode.
Exactly. So there's loads of other news to go through, in particular international news. We'll then rattle through all your listener views and the stats from the Super League round 23, cover the other results, including some decisive action in the Championship. Finally, we're going to tell you all what we think is going to happen in the Challenge Cup semi-finals, and maybe talk a little bit about the women's final too. So to kick things off, for all of those of you that didn't see the video, the winner of the great No Helmets Required signed giveaway was Lee Whitnell.
Hey, well done, Lee.
Now, there's going to be accusations of a fix because Lee's actually going to be co-hosting the show next week.
Yeah, what you didn't see is the 5 other takes where Emma pulled out everybody else's name and then Mark had to do it again.
Well, I thought, well, if I see Lee, it saves on postage. No, to be honest, I was annoyed that it was Lee because he is one of the occasional guest co-hosts. So I wanted it to be someone a bit more wider out there in the SLP family, but I'm very pleased for Lee that he won. What I realised when I did the video, after I did the video, one of the reasons I don't do videos is I'm obviously shit at prepping for them. I don't have to prep for any of the other video stuff I've done previously that hasn't been SLP related, is I forgot to tell everyone what the answer to the question was. And the question was,
That's
who is
question.
the famous wrestler and actor who's the cousin of Hull Kingston Rovers Junior Vai, and I'm sure you know the answer, Tim.
It is The Rock.
It is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. If you go back to the episode where we first did the question, you can probably find about 20 tenuous and very bad Rock-related puns in there.
Yeah,
and there was some bad wrestling bits in there about players being the most entertaining and dropping the people's elbow and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think I actually got some past you as well.
Totally, completely. I'm not. This has been well established over 4.5 years of Super League pod. I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't really.
See, I was big as a teenager, but I haven't watched probably for 15 years now.
So all your references are 15 to 20 years old.
I mean, that doesn't just extend across wrestling. That extends across a lot of things. Let's be honest.
I'm exactly the same. Fair enough. Okay. So well done to Lee. Well done to everyone else who got the question right and made an entry. Hopefully, we'll have some other things come on board throughout the year. This isn't a precursor to anything that exists yet, but if anyone out there is listening and wants to get involved, do a giveaway, get a bit of excitement around things, then do get in touch. And hopefully as well, Gavin Willisey, the writer of No Helmets Required, will be able to do an SLP short with us at some point over the remainder of the year to talk about his great book, because unfortunately, sadly, he had some sad family news that he's had to deal with this week. So our thoughts and condolences go out to him and his family for that. But thanks for the book. And Lee Whitnell is now going to be the proud recipient of a signed copy of No Helmets Required. Okay, we've had some bits in, a couple of listener views on the transfer deadline stuff, not really necessarily talking about the deals themselves, Tim, but talking about the wider conversation around the transfer deadline, kind of a few other topics thrown in there. So that these views are worth covering. We got a message on Facebook from Gareth Sunley. It's nice to hear from Gareth. We hadn't heard from Gareth for a while.
Who does Gareth support?
He's a Widnes fan, is Gareth. As far as I remember, he's a Widnes fan. So,
He was at the start of the season. Whether he still is a question.
Well, great to hear from Gareth anyway. He said, whether he's a rugby league fan at the moment based on this. He says, rugby league at the moment is such a joke. Lee are now in trouble after overspending, underperforming. Why does the transfer window close before the league has finished? What difference would a week make? Imagine Lee somehow made the middle eights, having been forced to sell their best players.
I was kind of wishing that was going to happen, just for the comedy value. And I mean, it's not good luck for the game, but it would be funny, wouldn't it? Just the once.
As a Wigan fan, I'd have enjoyed the Lee meltdown going, kind of counteracted against them getting battered and no one going to watch them get battered in the middle eights. But no, from a sport-wide perspective, Gareth raises some some poignant questions. He says, we don't even know what system we'll be playing next year. How can clubs prepare when they don't know what rules? Toronto in the middle eights, how will that work? Will they be based in the UK or play a block of home games? These are all questions I feel should be answered well before they became an issue in any other sport. No, sorry, he says, these are all questions I feel would be answered well before they became an issue in any other sport, and they wonder why they struggle to attract new fans. So there's a few questions thrown in there. I suppose the transfer deadline situation has been the same for each of the years of the...
Yeah, but I think this year has accentuated how wrong that is, having it at that time. I think it's and as we've seen with many clubs, Hull KR being one of them, that it just does allow you to be more tactical than I think possibly we want.
So you're having it's basically taking place, two-thirds, 3/4 of the way through the season, isn't it? Really, we've kind of got almost a quarter of the season left to go with the seven games. I can't remember the transfer deadline period pre the 8 structure because it wasn't really.
I remember it being a bit of a non-event, and I remember us getting excited one time when there were 2 deals on deadline day.
Well, this week there was 40 minutes worth of deals to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when the structure changes, I'm guessing it won't be as relevant a factor.
Well, if the structure changes, Mark.
When the structure changes, I don't think it'll be as relevant a factor. We don't know when the structure might change, but it will change. Do you think
it's a hard question then to flip the question around? When would you put it? Because it is hard. Because if you are a club that's in genuine problems, i.e., you're having an injury crisis, you
would have a transfer deadline, then a loan deadline, wouldn't you? And the transfer deadline would be coming maybe halfway through the season, and your loan deadline would be probably now rather than last week, so you can set out at this stage, and it's all going to be short-term deals just to the end of the season and that sort of stuff. And then there will be manipulation within that. Of course, there will be manipulation within that, but that's maybe one of the ways
any rule
to go,
you ever set, someone's going to find a way to get the best out of it. Of course, that's natural in sport and competition.
Yeah, I kind of think it's only coming to focus because of Derek Beaumont, because of Lee Centurions, because of the fact that they bet it all on becoming a Super League, becoming a qualifiers club.
And I think I actually sort of take a slightly opposite. I think Derek Beaumont's done an incredibly sensible thing, and it's not something you would. I never thought I'd say those words.
Right, he's done a sensible thing now, Tim. 22 weeks into the season. Did he really do a sensible thing between October last year and February this year? That's the question for me. Did what went on there destabilise things? They let a lot of players go that they didn't need to let go from a financial point of view because they brought players in on higher contracts than some of the players they let go. So they didn't need to
not necessarily that much an increase in quality.
Or even if they're an increase in quality, they're not an increase in the right sort of quality for the right competition that they're going in. I'm not saying, you need certain types of players to play in the Championship. These players can't play in the Championship. I'm saying there's players who probably didn't fucking want to play in the Championship. Didn't really want to be playing week in, week out to the best of their potential at that level. Can you imagine some of those NRL signings really giving a toss when they're away at Rochdale? Or that sort of level of competition? Do you know what I mean? And then
I get that, exactly. Because motivation's got to come two ways, isn't it?
Some of the other teams as well. And probably they were expecting an easy ride, and maybe that's why Lee didn't start the season so well. Yes, Derek Beaumont has done the sensible thing now. I agree with you on that point. Sorry for disagreeing overall.
And that is a fair challenge. But at this point, he has done the sensible thing by saying, actually, he's cutting his losses rather than chucking more money after it. He had two ways to go. He could have risked it, or he could have tried to keep it going for another season. But he said, actually, no, we've got to be sensible now. We've got to sell the saleable assets, and offload where we can.
Well, they've not sold anything, have they? They've just offloaded.
Yeah.
They've not brought in any transfer fees for any of these players. No report. There's non-reported, is there? The thing we'll get on to I think we've got another couple of points in to talk about Derek Beaumont on. So let's